Hello everyone, this is Dion Blanks with the Economic Empowerment Circle, and I would like to welcome you to Wealth Wednesdays with Dion. So I received a couple of questions for this week, and I wanted to just pick out one, and this question comes from Tamika, Dr. Tamika Johnson. Thank you so much for your question. Okay, so Tamika's question was exactly how do we go about choosing a brokerage company to use to invest? So we are going to start right there, and before we even get into that, I'm just going to explain exactly what a brokerage is. All right, so whenever you are investing in the stock market, you are basically buying and selling securities or ownership in different companies. In order to do that, you need a broker. Why do you need a broker? Because it's not like we can go to the supermarket and say, hey, give me one share of Apple, give me one share of Microsoft. We actually have to have a go-between, someone to buy and sell shares on our behalf. So that's exactly what a brokerage does for us. So as you can see, it's pretty important to make sure that you are choosing a brokerage company that is very secure, that you'll be able to transact this business with. So that is what a brokerage is, and that is why we use it whenever we are investing. Now, there are different types of brokers. You have everything from Robinhood to Fidelity, and there's so many. So I just wanted to go over a couple of things for you to consider so that you can make your own best decision as far as which brokerage company you would like to go with. So one of the things that you want to consider is the safety and security of the platform that you are using. This is huge. You certainly do not want to get into investing and putting your hard-earned money into a brokerage only for them to be hacked or for them to not really have a safe and reliable platform. So that's number one. Do some research as far as safety and security of the platform. Have they ever been hacked before, or any type of news about them that you have heard regarding their security? The other thing that you want to consider is their reliability. You don't want a brokerage company that is not reliable. If you need to execute a investment, if you want to purchase a company and it's at a certain price, you want to be able to go to that platform and be pretty confident that your transaction is going to go through and that there is not going to be any downtime as far as them trying to process your transaction and it not going through for some reason. So you want to make sure that that brokerage is safe, is secure, and that it's reliable. Also, you want to check out the fees that the brokerage company charges. Now, back in the day, whenever I first started investing, there were actual fees that were associated with most brokerages. In other words, if you wanted to purchase a share of a company, you would have to pay a fee in order for that transaction to go through. Some of them were as high as $50, and then they kind of kept reducing the price till they were about $6.95 in order to buy and sell shares of different companies. And then a couple years ago, most of the major brokerage companies went ahead and did away with fees that they used to charge for buying and selling stocks. Now, I'm not talking about trading options or anything like that. I am specifically talking about buying and selling shares of companies. So as far as that's concerned, there are some great brokerage companies that don't charge anything for you to buy and sell companies. So those are the ones that that I like to pay attention to, because I'm not trying to pay a fee if I don't have to a brokerage for them to go ahead and serve as my broker, basically. So the less fees that I can pay, the better. All right. So the other thing that you want to consider as well is the minimum. Sometimes a brokerage company will require you to put a minimum amount in order to open an account with them. Those minimums have gone away as well for most brokerages. Some of them do require maybe $100 for you to start with, but many of them you don't have to put anything in the brokerage account in order to open it up. So that's a good thing, because you can go ahead and open up your brokerage account, and then when you get the funds, you can fund your brokerage account. But you definitely don't have to wait in order to go through the process of opening up a brokerage, okay? So now that I have explained what a brokerage is, why you need one, and the things that you might want to consider before selecting a brokerage in order to invest with, now I want to go through a couple that I have used that I liked, and sometimes I'll go through a couple that I did not particularly like either. So the first one I'm going to start with is TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade is really good for me, and I like this brokerage because they are safe, they are secure, they are reliable. As far as brokerages are concerned, there's never going to be a brokerage that is 100% up at all times. So I have had a couple of glitches with TD Ameritrade, but not many. Okay, so TD Ameritrade, they have a great platform for investing and trading stock options. So if you want to use one platform, then TD Ameritrade is great for that. That's the one that I prefer to use, and I've been using them for years with no problem, as well as their Thinkorswim platform. The other brokerage that I started with actually was Robinhood. When I first started kind of getting into trading, I used Robinhood, and for me, they were not as reliable for sure. So that's not one that I typically recommend to my students in the investing and trading class. But of course, if it's between you not investing at all and you investing with Robinhood and then using a more sophisticated platform as you continue to grow, okay, I get that. However, make sure that you understand what you're signing up for whenever you're using Robinhood. Now, TD Ameritrade, like I said, that's my preferred brokerage. However, whenever there is an issue with it, I can always pick up the phone and call their customer service, and I always get someone on the line. So that is very different from Robinhood, because Robinhood does not have customer service that you can just pick up the phone and call. I believe you have to create like a ticketing system or either send them an email. And whenever you're investing and trading, you kind of need that service, or I do anyway. So those are some of the things you want to consider. Another thing, I'm not sure if Robinhood has changed this or not, but it was not possible for you to name a beneficiary on your Robinhood account. So that's pretty important if you're going to be investing and building generational wealth, for you to be able to name a beneficiary on your account. So check into that with Robinhood before you invest any serious dough, okay, using that app. All right, the next one is Fidelity, and you also have, Fidelity is good as well as Charles Schwab. Those are some of the bigger brokerages. They don't charge the fees. Many don't have the minimums that I talked about either. So that's something to consider. And last but not least, M1 Finance. M1 Finance is, one of the newer brokerages out of the ones that I just named, but I love M1 Finance as well because they allow for fractional share investing, and if you are managing your own portfolio, they make it really easy to do that as well. So if you want to check out M1 Finance, I do have a link in my bio, and you can check that out and go ahead and sign up, and they give you free money. So whenever you sign up, I'll get $30, I believe they give you free to invest, and you'll get $30 free to invest as well. So that is my lesson for Wealth Wednesday on brokerages and how they work and what to look for in the ones that I like, and some of the things about the ones that I don't necessarily care for. All right, I hope that was helpful to you. If you have any questions for me, feel free to drop them in the comments below or send me a message. All right, y'all have a great Wednesday. See you next Wednesday.